As usual, when I do a lecture, I like to choose a title. And actually, the title of my lecture today is going to be Spiritual Uniqueness. And the newsletter this week, if you've already read it, is titled Spiritual Uniqueness. And it was definitely put together based on the subject that I chose to speak on today. And I'm going to have to say that the reason I chose this subject today happened to be a direct cause and effect situation. And that was based on listening to Jenny's lecture last week. Now, I think most of us on here today heard Jenny's lecture last week. And to me, it was one of the most upbeat, most joyful, most jubilant messages we've had in a long time. And I really appreciated it. And that got me to thinking about things and thinking about the chapel and everybody in the chapel and how unique we all are and how unique we all are in the world. So this is the basis for what I'm talking about today, and is the basis for the newsletter that we had this week. And it all goes back to Jenny's lecture last Sunday, which I applaud Jenny for that lecture, and thank you very much. And as usual, I'd like to start with scripture. And the scripture that I chose today is Isaiah 55:8. For my thoughts are not your thoughts, nor are your ways my ways. I'll read that scripture again. For my thoughts are not your thoughts, nor are your ways my ways. To me, that meant we're all unique. We all have different thoughts. We all think in different ways. And our ways are all different and unique. And I would like to begin by doing something a little different than I normally do. And that's like to begin with an affirmation. And I don't think I've ever started a lecture with an affirmation before. Years ago, I used to read, and I have a whole bunch of books by Louise Hay. And I always thought that her philosophy was a good philosophy because it was always upbeat and it was all about healing. It was all about healing self and how you could heal self. And here's what Louise Hay had to say on this subject. And this is an affirmation, so listen to it as an affirmation, and an affirmation that you can use. And you have the affirmation because I put it in a newsletter. So if you want to go back and use it, all you got to do is go back and look at your newsletter, and you can print it from the newsletter and use the affirmation. I accept my uniqueness. There is no competition and no comparison, for we are all different and meant to be that way. I am special and wonderful. I love myself. We have a different speaker each week at the chapel. That makes the chapel unique in comparison to any other religious or spiritual organization or church that I've ever visited, ever been a member of. And each speaker is unique in their own way. And we are all unique and different in our own way. And you know what? Not only is that okay, that's great. Because it is our uniqueness that makes us who we are. Sometimes we listen to other people, we look at other people, and I listened to Jenny and I thought, well, maybe I could be more upbeat. Maybe I could speak more upbeat like Jenny. But I'm not Jenny. I'm Bill. I'm unique and different from Jenny. I don't talk like Jenny. I don't act like Jenny. I don't have the same upbeat mode of conduct that Jenny has. So on one Sunday we can hear Jenny, she's upbeat. The next Sunday we can hear Bill, he's a little more stoic, kind of calm, laid back, even keeled Capricorn personality, but that's okay. That's my unique personality. Jenny's unique personality is her unique personality. Your unique personality is your unique personality. The thing we want to remember is not to deny our unique personality. I don't have to be like Jenny. Jenny doesn't have to be like me. All I got to do is be like Bill. And if I be like Bill, I will be expressing myself the way I should express myself on this earth plane here and now. I'll be following my path and my purpose if I continue to display the unique me. But what we do sometimes is we see all these other people and we think, well, I'm supposed to be like him. I'm supposed to be like her. If I'm going to be a spiritual person, then I need to change my ways. I can't be the way I am. I got to put on white cloth. I got to put on a robe. I got to put on a hat. I got to put on a bracelet. I got to put on something. And when I do this, when I try to follow exactly in the path of somebody else, when we try to follow exactly in the path of somebody else, you know what we're doing? We're losing some of the uniqueness that we are, the uniqueness that makes us who we are, the uniqueness that actually attracts us to other people. So we don't want to do that. We don't want to drop that uniqueness. What we want to do is own that uniqueness, be that uniqueness, continue to express that uniqueness. It's okay to be who you are. Don't listen to all these people that tell you, no, you got to change. You can't do that. You can't go out on Saturday night and do your thing. You can't go here and do your thing. Yes, you can. You can do your thing. That does not take away from your spirituality and the spiritual person you are. You have a unique aspect to you that is your unique being. And it is your unique being that is the way you express your true spirituality. You don't have to be a rabbi. You don't have to be a monk. You don't have to be a guru. You don't have to live in the forest in India. You don't have to walk in the desert to express your spirituality, to be a spiritual person. You still are a spiritual person. You were born a spiritual person and you will pass a spiritual person. But you were born into this plane on this earth to be unique. In heaven, you were a spiritual being, expressing the aspects of the spiritual being. On earth, you're still a spiritual being, but you're expressing it in physical form, which is uniquely different than the form that you had when you were in spirit form. You'll pass through this life, and then you'll pass to the next life, and the cycle will begin all over again. It's like the cycle. It's like the cycle of snow. Okay. Everybody knows what snow is. Everybody knows that each snowflake is a crystal, and everybody knows of the millions, trillions, and billions of snowflakes that fall to earth. Each one is totally different than every other one of those snowflakes. And if we look at the snowflake, we can compare it to our spiritual descension, ascension, okay? How's a snowflake created? The snowflake is created from water and water vapor, which is in the atmosphere. And when the snowflake is in the atmosphere, it's not a snowflake, it's water vapor. And it's all part of one. We are all part of one, okay? But that snowflake, before its birth, is a part of one in that water vapor, in that liquid. And then the snowflake that's in the atmosphere, as it begins to cool, the atmosphere cools. That snowflake begins to crystallize and form into a crystal. And everyone that's ever seen a snowflake knows how beautiful a crystal is, and knows how beautiful a snowflake is. And then that snowflake falls from the water and begins to descend through the air and fall to the earth. It's no more one as a part of the water, it's independent. It's unique. It's a unique aspect of God's creation falling to the earth. And then when the snowflake hits the earth and it's on the ground, and then it again starts to join and merge with all of the other snowflakes on the ground. And we look at the snow on the ground and it has a glisten on it, and it's very beautiful. And then we see the oneness again of that snowflake. And the oneness as it melts and blends back into water. And then it's absorbed by the earth, and it flows through the streams and into the oceans. And the sun heats the water up in the ocean and carries it back into the heavens. And then the cycle begins all over again. But the important thing to remember that in all of our oneness, we're still unique. In our oneness, like the snowflake that is one with the water before it separates from the water to become an individual snowflake and become unique and express its uniqueness. And we can look at all of the different snowflakes over and over again and not get tired of it because we can see the uniqueness in it. And the same thing goes for looking at each other. We look at each other and we see that each one of us is different. And each one of us is different like the snowflake. There is no other you on the planet Earth. And there is no other you in the universe. You are unique. You are a unique individual. You are a unique spiritual individual. Not only on this earth, but in the entire universe. Okay, so I say, if you are unique, if I'm unique, then why do I want to change to become like everybody else? I don't. And I say, there is no need for you to change and be like everybody else. What you need to be is like you. But what you need to do, what I need to do, and what everyone needs to do, is accept the uniqueness of you. You were made in the creation and image of God. You are what God decided you were supposed to be. Your uniqueness is what God decided your uniqueness was supposed to be. And if that's so, then look at yourself. Accept yourself as great and unique. There is nobody any more unique than you because there is no other you. In this whole world, you are the only you there is. So you don't have to be like everybody else. I don't have to be like Jenny. Jenny don't have to be like me. And I'm still on my spiritual path. And you're still on your spiritual path. And you're still expressing your spirituality. But accept your uniqueness and you will express your spirituality in more fullness, in more openness, and more honesty. And you'll feel better about yourself, and you'll feel more joyful about yourself and the world that you live in. I've got something else I'd like to read to you that I put in the newsletter this week. And you can also go back to your newsletter if you'd like to look at this again or save it also. And that is, the note of middle C does not condemn any other note for being different, because if it were not for the variety of notes, there would be no music. Likewise, let us condemn not any among us for their uniqueness, understanding only our differences make possible this magical symphony we call life. Thank you very much for allowing me to share. As you go about this week, what I want you to do is look at yourself in the mirror and accept the unique human being that you truly are, and love the unique being that you truly are.